I want to start with a truth that may surprise you. Most men carry small, early signs of health changes without realizing it. These signs often slip under the radar, quietly woven into the routine of daily life. They can appear so subtle that they feel unimportant. Just a bit of tiredness here, a slight change in appetite there. Yet, ignoring them can set you on a path where recovery becomes slower, more complicated, and sometimes even costly to your overall well-being. Today we're going to explore these early signals and, most importantly, how you can take smart, simple steps at home to address them. Before we go further, I want to make you a promise. By the end of this talk, I'll share a powerful, natural method you can use to boost the effectiveness of any home remedy or health routine you try. It's simple, it's safe, and it can make a real difference when practiced consistently. This is your bonus tip, and I think you'll be glad you stayed for it. Let's set the stage. Picture your typical weekday. You wake up, grab a quick breakfast, maybe cereal, toast, or even just a cup of coffee, and head straight into a packed schedule. Work hours blur into evening tasks, and the day closes with you feeling too drained to do much else. That steady fatigue, the dull aches, or even that stubborn heaviness in your head aren't necessarily just part of getting older. They can be your body's way of whispering that something needs attention. One reason these signals get missed is familiarity. If you've felt a certain way for weeks or months, it starts to feel normal. Maybe you've blamed it on stress, poor sleep, or the weather. But here's the truth. The body doesn't send random signals. Even the mildest discomfort has a root cause, and the earlier you address it, the better the outcome. Take fatigue, for example. It's one of the most common complaints men dismiss. But constant low energy can be tied to nutrient deficiencies, unbalanced blood sugar, or even early changes in cardiovascular health. And you don't need to jump to complex solutions right away. Sometimes, adding a 20-minute walk after dinner, swapping one processed snack for a handful of nuts, or making sure you're drinking enough water throughout the day can create noticeable improvement in just a couple of weeks. Another subtle sign is changes in your skin. Dry patches, small rashes, or even a pale tone that wasn't there before could indicate hydration issues, dietary imbalances, or stress affecting your immune system. Simple adjustments like including more leafy greens, using healthier fats such as olive oil or avocado, and protecting your skin from excessive sun exposure can go a long way. Why is it so important to catch these small changes? Because health shifts are like dominoes. When one system starts to weaken, others often follow. A little more tiredness may lead to reduced physical activity, which then impacts circulation, mood, and even digestion. By acting early, you stop that chain reaction before it gains momentum. Now, I'm not saying every small ache or low-energy day is cause for concern. Life has its natural ups and downs. But if you notice a pattern, something that persists for weeks or subtly worsens over time, it's worth paying attention. Your body thrives when you listen to it. Here's the encouraging part. Taking charge doesn't have to be complicated. The simplest actions often have the biggest impact when done consistently. Start with what you can control right now: your meals, your hydration, your movement, and your rest. Give yourself the same attention and care you would give to something precious, because your health is exactly that. We're just getting started, and the next insight is one of the most important. Overlooking it won't just limit your results, it could quietly undermine all your efforts and even bring side effects you didn't expect. Sometimes, the earliest indicators of a deeper health issue aren't the ones you'd expect. They don't show up in a dramatic way, like sudden pain or obvious changes. Instead, they quietly blend into your daily routine. One of the most overlooked areas is appetite and digestion. Small, gradual changes, like feeling less hungry than usual, craving more processed foods, or noticing slight discomfort after meals, can be early hints that your body's internal balance is shifting. It's easy to brush these off. Maybe you chalk it up to a busy day, stress from work, or simply not being in the mood to eat. But these patterns matter. Your digestive system is closely linked to your overall energy, immune function, and even your mood. When it starts sending subtle messages, it's worth paying attention. Consider how many typical American habits might contribute to these shifts. Heavy reliance on takeout meals, frequent late-night snacking, or skipping breakfast in favor of extra coffee. Over time, these habits can disrupt the natural rhythm of your body. Your gut health plays a crucial role in nutrient absorption, and when that's compromised, it affects everything from your skin to your focus at work. An example: feeling uncomfortably bloated after even small meals could be your body's way of telling you that something in your diet isn't agreeing with you. Maybe it's too much refined sugar, or perhaps not enough fiber. A simple change, like replacing one refined carb meal with a plate rich in vegetables, lean protein, and whole grains, can help reset digestion. Adding fermented foods like yogurt or sauerkraut in small amounts can also encourage a healthier gut environment. Another subtle sign? Changes in thirst and hydration. If you find yourself needing more water than usual, or conversely, hardly feeling thirsty at all, your body might be signaling shifts in kidney function, electrolyte balance, or even blood sugar regulation. Again, the solution doesn't have to be extreme. Start by ensuring you drink water steadily throughout the day instead of gulping it all at once. And be mindful of excessive caffeinated or sugary drinks, which can create a cycle of dehydration. Here's something many men don't realize: your body's signals are interconnected. Low hydration can worsen digestion, and poor digestion can sap your energy, which then reduces your motivation to stay active. This chain reaction builds quietly until it becomes harder to reverse. You might also notice small shifts in your tolerance for certain foods or drinks. Perhaps that beer you've enjoyed for years suddenly leaves you sluggish, or that spicy dish you loved now causes discomfort. This isn't about giving up everything you enjoy. It's about understanding what your body is telling you and making slight adjustments that keep you feeling your best. Acting early matters, not because every change is a crisis, but because small corrections now can prevent bigger challenges later. Think of it like maintaining your car. You wouldn't ignore a small rattling noise just because the car still runs. Addressing it early means less wear, fewer repairs, and a smoother ride. The good news? You have control. By staying aware of how you feel during and after meals, making modest but consistent dietary shifts, and staying hydrated, you support your body's natural healing and balancing processes. This isn't about strict rules. It's about giving your body the conditions it needs to thrive. The next tip is one of the most important you'll hear. Missing it won't just reduce the benefits of the steps we've discussed so far. It can quietly work against you and bring unintended side effects you might not notice until much later. You might not think much about your mood or concentration levels when considering your overall health, but they can be among the clearest early indicators that something deeper is happening in your body. Subtle shifts, like finding it harder to focus on tasks you once completed with ease, feeling a shorter fuse with family or co-workers, or experiencing an unexplained dip in motivation, are often brushed off as simply being stressed or having a lot going on. While that can sometimes be true, these changes can also be linked to your physical health in ways that may surprise you. Your brain is highly sensitive to the quality of your nutrition, your sleep patterns, and your circulation. If any of these areas are disrupted, your mental clarity and emotional balance can be affected. For example, inconsistent sleep, whether it's from staying up too late, waking up often during the night, or keeping irregular schedules, doesn't just make you tired. It impacts how your brain processes information, regulates mood, and manages stress. Over time, this can create a cycle where mental fatigue makes it harder to make healthy choices, which then worsens the underlying issues. One often overlooked factor is blood sugar balance. Even without a diagnosis of diabetes, frequent spikes and crashes in blood sugar can influence how alert you feel, how steadily your energy lasts, and even your patience level throughout the day. Relying heavily on refined carbohydrates or sugary snacks can lead to those highs and lows. The good news is, balancing meals with adequate protein, healthy fats, and fiber can help smooth out energy levels and improve mental steadiness. Circulation also plays a big role. Your brain needs a steady flow of oxygen-rich blood to function at its best. When circulation is compromised, whether from prolonged sitting, lack of exercise, or underlying cardiovascular changes, it can leave you feeling foggy or mentally sluggish. That's why small habits like standing up and stretching every hour, Walking during phone calls or adding just a few minutes of light cardio each day can have a surprisingly strong impact on mental clarity. Emotional shifts, like increased irritability or lower resilience to everyday stress, can also stem from nutrient deficiencies. Magnesium, B vitamins, and omega-3 fatty acids are especially important for supporting the nervous system. Many people don't get enough of these through diet alone, particularly if fast food and processed snacks dominate the menu. Simple adjustments, like including a serving of leafy greens daily, choosing fatty fish a couple of times a week, or adding seeds and nuts to snacks, can make a noticeable difference. It's important to note that mood and focus changes don't exist in isolation. They often occur alongside other physical signs, such as fatigue, digestive changes, or alterations in appetite. Seeing the full picture of your health means paying attention to how these signals connect. Ignoring them because they seem minor can allow small imbalances to grow into more stubborn issues over time. There's something powerful about addressing these early shifts proactively. Not only can it improve your daily quality of life, but it can also help prevent a gradual decline that's harder to reverse later on. If you've noticed that your mental sharpness isn't what it used to be, or that your patience runs thinner than before, consider this your nudge to take action. Start with one manageable change: a consistent bedtime, a balanced breakfast, a short walk in the morning, and let those small wins build. The next tip we'll discuss is one of the most important you'll encounter. Skipping it won't just reduce the results of what you've already started. It could subtly work against your efforts and bring effects you may not realize until much later. Among the daily habits that shape your long-term health, there's one in particular that tends to go unnoticed: the small choices you make every morning. It might be the kind of coffee you drink, the breakfast you skip, or the sweetener you add without thinking. While these seem harmless, repeated every day over months and years, they can have a quiet but significant influence on your body's natural balance. Take, for example, the common reliance on highly processed coffee creamers or artificial sweeteners. While convenient and often marketed as healthy alternatives, many of these products contain additives that may subtly disrupt digestion or alter your body's response to sugar. You might not notice an immediate reaction, but over time, they can contribute to energy fluctuations, digestive discomfort, or changes in appetite. Choosing simpler, more natural options, like a splash of unsweetened almond milk or a small amount of raw honey, can support steadier energy without the same risks. Another overlooked habit is skipping a proper breakfast altogether and relying solely on caffeine to start the day. This can push your body into a state where blood sugar drops sharply mid-morning, triggering cravings, irritability, or even that midday energy crash. A balanced breakfast doesn't have to be complicated. Something as simple as oatmeal topped with fruit and a handful of nuts, or eggs with vegetables, can set the tone for better focus and sustained energy. Hydration in the morning also plays a bigger role than most realize. After hours of sleep, your body is naturally in a mild state of dehydration. Reaching for water first, before coffee, helps replenish fluids and supports digestion, circulation, and even cognitive function. Adding a squeeze of lemon can provide a gentle boost of vitamin C and aid in waking up your digestive system. What's important here is the cumulative effect. Small morning choices, whether positive or negative, set the rhythm for the rest of your day. Start with a sugar-heavy, nutrient-poor breakfast, and you may find yourself chasing quick energy fixes all afternoon. Begin with balanced hydration and nourishment, and you're more likely to experience steady energy and clearer focus. It's also worth mentioning that not all morning routines are about food and drink. Taking even 5 minutes for light stretching, breathing exercises, or a short walk outside can improve circulation and oxygen flow, priming both body and mind for the hours ahead. These gentle practices don't just wake you up, they signal to your body that it's time to function at its best. Changing long-standing morning habits can feel like a big ask, but start with one adjustment and build from there. Swap one processed ingredient for a natural one. Commit to drinking a glass of water before your first coffee, or add a small protein source to your breakfast. Over time, these choices compound, supporting not only your physical health, but also your mental clarity and emotional balance. Your mornings are an investment in how the rest of your day unfolds. Treat them with care, and they can become one of the most powerful tools you have for maintaining steady health and vitality. The next insight is among the most valuable you'll hear. Overlooking it won't just lessen your progress. It could actively undermine your health improvements and cause subtle effects you might not recognize until much later. One of the most fascinating things about the body is how it reveals small signs in unexpected places. Sometimes, the earliest clues to your health show up not in how you feel, but in how you look, specifically in areas you rarely think to check. Your nails, the texture of your skin, or even subtle changes in your breathing pattern can carry important information about your overall well-being. Consider your nails for a moment. They grow slowly and steadily, which means changes in their color, thickness, or surface can be a reflection of what's been happening inside your body for weeks or even months. For example, nails that suddenly become brittle or develop ridges might indicate nutrient deficiencies, especially in minerals like zinc or iron. While these issues are often correctable through diet and lifestyle changes, ignoring them can allow imbalances to linger longer than they should. Your skin is another quiet communicator. Beyond dryness or the occasional rash, pay attention to texture and tone. A dull or uneven tone can sometimes reflect circulation issues, dehydration, or even hormonal shifts. While skincare products can help externally, the real solution often starts from within. Increasing your intake of fresh fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats can supply the antioxidants and nutrients your skin needs to repair and renew itself. Breathing patterns are often overlooked entirely. Most people don't notice when their breathing becomes shallow, especially during long periods of sitting or high stress. Yet, shallow breathing can reduce oxygen delivery to your tissues, leading to fatigue, lower concentration, and even increased muscle tension. Simple, mindful breathing exercises, taking slow, deep breaths into the belly for a few minutes, can help restore proper oxygen flow and calm your nervous system. It's important to see these signs not as isolated curiosities, but as connected pieces of a bigger picture. Poor circulation, nutrient gaps, and stress often work together in ways that quietly impact your health. By addressing them early, you can support your body's ability to heal and maintain balance without waiting for bigger issues to appear. Practical steps can make a meaningful difference. A handful of nuts or seeds each day can boost your intake of essential minerals. Drinking water consistently supports both skin and nail health. Gentle physical activity, like walking, stretching, or even gardening, can improve circulation and breathing while reducing stress levels. Think of these changes not as a burden, but as investments in your daily comfort and vitality. Every small improvement compounds over time, creating a stronger foundation for your overall health. You don't have to overhaul your entire lifestyle to see benefits. Focus on a few manageable habits and build from there. Your body is always giving you feedback. The more you pay attention to these subtle signs, the better equipped you'll be to take timely action. And when you respond early, you often find that recovery is faster, easier, and more complete. The next insight you'll hear is one of the most valuable of all. Ignoring it won't just limit the progress you've made so far. It could quietly work against you and create effects that you may only recognize much later. There's a final sign we need to talk about, one that deserves your full attention because it combines many of the small signals we've discussed into a clear call to act. This sign is persistent, noticeable enough to affect your day-to-day life, yet still often ignored until it becomes more difficult to address. Ongoing, low-grade inflammation. Inflammation isn't always obvious. You might notice it as a constant stiffness in your joints each morning, a lingering sense of heaviness in your muscles, or a swelling in your hands or feet after standing for long periods. It can also show up internally, affecting your digestion, energy, or even your ability to recover from exercise. When left unaddressed, it quietly wears down the body's resilience. One reason inflammation is so important to recognize is that it connects to nearly every other sign we've talked about: fatigue, changes in mood, digestion issues, skin texture shifts, and even breathing patterns. It's like an undercurrent that slowly shapes your overall health. The good news? You have more control over it than you might think. One of the simplest, most effective ways to address low-grade inflammation at home is through what you eat and how you prepare it. Foods rich in antioxidants like berries, leafy greens, and colorful vegetables can help your body neutralize the free radicals that contribute to inflammation. Healthy fats, particularly those from olive oil, nuts, and fatty fish, provide the building blocks your body needs to repair and protect itself. Preparation matters just as much as the ingredients. Light steaming or sautéing vegetables helps preserve their nutrients, while overly high-heat cooking methods can sometimes produce compounds that make inflammation worse. Using fresh herbs like turmeric, ginger, and garlic not only adds flavor, but also supplies natural anti-inflammatory properties. Here's the bonus I promised earlier. Pairing certain foods can significantly increase their benefits. For example, adding a small amount of black pepper when you use turmeric can greatly enhance its absorption. Combining vitamin C-rich foods like citrus or bell peppers with plant-based iron sources such as spinach or lentils can improve how well your body uses that iron. These small, intentional combinations can make the healthy choices you're already making even more effective. Beyond diet, daily movement plays a major role in reducing inflammation. Gentle activities like walking, yoga, or swimming keep your circulation active and prevent stiffness from settling in. Rest is equally vital. Your body uses sleep as a prime time to repair and recover. This isn't about perfection or overhauling everything overnight. It's about recognizing that small, consistent actions, choosing the right foods, preparing them with care, pairing them for maximum effect, moving your body, and giving yourself adequate rest, are powerful tools for protecting your long-term health. When you respond to the early signs your body sends, you not only improve how you feel today, but you also set yourself up for years of better energy, sharper focus, and greater resilience. Taking action now means you're investing in a future where your health supports every goal and activity you care about. Your health is your foundation, and every mindful choice you make strengthens it. Share what you've learned with others. Encourage those around you to pay attention to their own early signs and keep building on these steps. Small actions, taken consistently, can create remarkable changes over time.